What is up to everybody on YouTube? How y'all doing out there? Hey man, salute to all y'all, bro. That fireworks show was amazing last night. It was banging. And that's the friendship between Windsor and Detroit, right? The amount of generation that's been going on for should really speak volumes. Yeah, the media is trying to portray the situation in Quebec that happened as it was a conservative, it was a liberal, a Jewish hating liberal who literally went and shot up a shopping center, right? A grocery store. And are we ever going to hear why we need a Second Amendment? No, we're not going to, right? The government ain't going to give us no rights to protect our life. No. What they're going to do is they want you to suffer. They want you to have nothing if somebody comes after you, man. That's what they want. Yeah, the media tried hiding the name and everything. It's the same thing that happened in British Columbia with the school shooter that was a tranny and shot up the school full of kids. Yeah, the news media in Canada tried to avoid and try to say we're not going to identify the suspect. Why not? Why not? Because y'all don't want to admit there's a mental illness. Y'all don't want to admit it. This is the problem with the other side, bro. I've said it for years, man. This is a spiritual war. Good versus evil. 100%, it's good versus evil. Oh, believe me, we're winning. We're winning. Yeah, I've dealt with plenty of people and things like that. But hey, you know what? I'm still doing what I do, right? Yeah, some of them crazies out there. That's why I said we have to reopen mental asylums, man. We're gonna have to reopen them. We're gonna have to lock these people up because that's the only way things are gonna get better. Now, when somebody commits an act like that, I can't tell what's more pathetic, right? The fact that an innocent civilian got shot in the process of this, or the matter of fact that the Quebec police, right, the Quebec Police Department, told them to not defend yourself. They basically told you to stay inside your house, lock the door, and close your windows, right? Not grab your gun and protect your life and your family. No. Lock the door, right? Like that's going to stop a mass shooter from coming into your house, locking your door, right? He's not going to just kick the door in or shoot at it. These people are something else, man. The left is something else. They are pure evil, and for what they have done is absolutely sickening, man. They are literally going and targeting innocent people. Jewish people are facing hatred like we've never seen before. And people are going to ask, well, how do you know that? My girlfriend's Jewish, and I've seen some of the things she's been through. We had situations in public where people try to mouth off to her. And yeah, I know we're outnumbered, but you know what? I still stuck on the ground, bro. I still say, you know what? I don't care if there's 5 of you. I'm still fucking standing up. Because it's BS that we have to deal with hatred like this, man. This is happening all over Toronto with synagogues. They're being shot at every weekend because there's racism going on. The Muslims and the Jews are having a problem with each other, and for some reason, the Jews are being targeted to an extent we've never seen. I mean, synagogues are being targeted all over Canada right now. Churches are being burned in Canada. And this is why I say we need to revolt against this government. And if we don't, things are going to get worse, man. Exactly. Look what happened in England. England is a perfect example of why we need stronger leadership in Canada. Because what the British people are facing right now, it's sad. But you know what? There's a reason why Kirk Stemmer is out, right? The reason why he's out as Britain's prime minister is because he failed so miserably. He wouldn't even answer the questions directly. He wouldn't even say rest in peace to Henry Novak, the dude who was stabbed 6 times and bled out to death in handcuffs. And the officers didn't believe he was stabbed. Oh, you didn't get stabbed, mate. You're just saying that. All of a sudden, 20 minutes later, he bleeds out to death. And he's white, right? He was right. Henry Novak, he was white. And did we hear white lives matter anywhere? Was there cities burning all over the world? Was there sports athletes kneeling during the national anthem? Was there people walking around with signs and t-shirts for Henry Novak? Nothing. So when we want to talk about white privilege and all this kind of stuff, I don't see any white privilege there. A young white boy, 18 years old, was murdered, stabbed. Same as Austin Mitchcalf, right? Austin Mitchcalf in Texas. Did anybody say anything about that? Did you hear any protests or any riots? No. No, of course not. I'm starting noticing a certain pattern here. All right? There's a certain pattern going on, And there's this anti-white racism that's been happening for the past, I'd say, at least 10 to 30 years. There's been this anti-white racism happening. And Martin Luther King fought for people to respect one another. He fought for people to stand next to each other and not look at somebody as color. And Martin Luther King is rolling in his grave right now, seeing what happened. Seeing how society has unveiled itself, man. It's sickening. You know, society needs better, man. No, what's happening in the world right now is pure chaos and invasion. And we're seeing it. Yeah, the fireworks show was banging last night. I'm glad nothing happened last night. I'm glad we didn't go through a situation like Quebec went through. I mean, obviously there's enough police presence to deal with a situation like that. But it's just a matter of a fact. When people say that, oh, guns are the problem. No, it's crazy people that are doing it, right? Like I said with the tranny that shot up the school in British Columbia. That was a crazy individual. Recorded videos doing sinister stuff and laughing about it. And that's who we're going to allow to have a gun? No. Law-abiding citizens should be the only ones that are allowed to carry. Why aren't the government going after criminals that carry guns? You ever notice this, right? They don't go after criminals that carry guns. No, they go after law-obeying citizens and law-obeying families and say, you got to give up your firearms. They're not the criminals, right? No. This is why Canada looks bad right now. And again, it's not the country's fault. People always say, oh, it has nothing to do with the country. It's more to do with the government. It's the government. They've lied. And they'll continue to do it. Yeah, 100% that's what it is. Don't ever trust the government. I smell marijuana out here. Marijuana has become so accessible, like literally anybody can have it now. Yeah, but I think the problem is, man, when you look at how our society works, right? What they did is they basically tried to legalize marijuana to throw everybody off a distraction of how bad the country looks, right? Because Justin Trudeau and Cannibal Carney aren't going to admit the failures that they've done. They're not going to admit the problems they've caused, no. What they'll do is they'll throw the shoe on the other foot. They'll just go and blame America for all their situations. No, they didn't do anything for taxes.
They said that when they did the legalized marijuana, everything would go like would be better, and they obviously took the money from the taxes because if you had all that marijuana and all them cannabis stores.
Yeah, but the cannabis stores are.
Yeah, but you know how they get taxed.
Yeah.
All that tax money goes back to the government.
Yeah.
You know that.
Well, it should also go to the farmers too that grow it, but.
Right. But you know how
they probably get only a little percentage out of that.
County cannabis makes all that money and all that tax. Imagine that through all Canada, all that tax goes back to the thing. That's way more tax
than that. Yeah, it's taxes.
That people paid into taxes. There should be stuff.
If somebody wants to know what communism is your government not allowing you to speak out against them and arresting you for doing that, and also taking your rights away to defend your life, and taking 50% of what you make from your job. That's 100% communism. Yes, dictatorship, and that's exactly what we're going through. I mean, in any other country, that's why I say you're not allowed to criticize the government in other countries. The only country allows that is America. That's the only country you're freely allowed to call out a movement, call out a leader, whatever. Nowhere else in the world are you allowed to just get up and speak like that. Or you try that shit in Russia or China, you're getting arrested instantly. And now Mark Carney's taking a playbook out of what they're doing. I think socialism has really destroyed. And you want to talk about communism? Look what happened with World War II, Germany. Nazi Germany. That was communism. Socialism and communism are the exact same concept. It's called, we're going to attack you because we don't agree with what you view upon, right? So nice, so tolerant people, right? They'll attack you with words and then with violence. They'll attack you with violence. When was the last time y'all saw a group of conservative or Republicans waving American or Canadian flags attacking random people? Never. But I sure see people with pride flags attacking people and screaming in their face. Yeah. It's because they're built with hatred. They have hatred built up inside them. And what they do is they let it out on us. And they call us the white supremacists and fucking blah, blah, blah. All right? No. The difference is anybody can be a patriot. It does not matter what nationality you are, where you come from. If you respect the country that you want to come to and love, you can be a patriot. It does not matter. So when you say, oh, patriots, man, they're just all white, really. Really, because I know a lot of patriots that are Mexican, that are African American, that are Lebanese, that are Jamaican, that are Asian. I mean, it goes on and on. Patriots represent everywhere. You can find a patriot all over the world. But one thing I noticed, what they won't tell you, is the Democrat Party, right? You know, the left, the Democrats, they created the Ku Klux Klan. Jim Crow is the one who created the Ku Klux Klan. Look this up. This is history. Look it up. If you get the chance, look up who created the Ku Klux Klan. It was the left. The right ended slavery. Yeah, Abraham Lincoln was the one who ended slavery, a Republican. That was cute. Yeah, but Jim was, he was the one that created the whole thing, and he was part of the movement. Me personally, I feel like pride is a mental illness. Abraham Lincoln was the reason why slavery ended. He was the one that fought to end it. Yeah, they're not going to tell you that. They'll call us Republicans racist, right? But we're the ones that ended slavery and forced labor and shit like that, right? We're the ones that gave women rights, right? We're the ones that gave women rights to vote. And yet we're the ones that are called hate. You got to be kidding me. Man, you just spam in the comments, bro. There's a huge difference from the Confederate flag to the Ku Klux Klan flag. Confederate flags means you love the area that you're at. You got to be kidding me. You're very uneducated to say that. You know, if you think that socialism and communism is the way to go, good for you, buddy. Hope you shove it up your ass and realize what a mistake and a failure you really are. We need liberty and we need freedom. We want patriotism. We don't want communism and socialism here. We don't. I mean, personally, I feel like people always talk about, oh man, America shot a nuclear missile. They didn't directly shoot a nuclear missile. They dropped a nuclear missile. And the reason why they did it is because the country they dropped it on, which is Japan, Japan originally attacked Hawaii. And nobody ever wants to talk about the Hawaii attack, right? Hawaii got attacked originally. And you know damn well if Japan could have made it to America instead of Hawaii, they would have attacked America instead of Hawaii. But that's the reason why America responded. And what they did is they showed the rest of the world why America has the biggest dick. That's what they showed. We're going to bomb you. Anybody else wants to fuck with us, you'll get the same results. And that's why nobody wants to fuck with America. Because America is the strongest nation on the world. I mean, I said it before and I'll say it again, man. Japan, just look at the size of Japan though, right? I mean, they're obviously an island. But Japan military is way stronger than Canada's. For being a little small country, their military is like at least 20 times stronger than ours. And I feel like it's kind of embarrassing to have the second biggest country in the world, and your military is ranked the 30th strongest in the world, but you're the second biggest country. That looks kind of bad. Yeah, I was in business and stock market exchange. Yeah, there's two different ways to get the grade 12. There's you finish it in high school, then you go and finish it after. I got one of those classes, those little school programs they have after. You know, I also did something like that when I was 18 years old, which was 8 years ago. Man, flashbacks, ain't it? Now, Mark Carney is responsible for Canada's fucking downfall. All right, our fucking dollar is literally worth 71 cents as we speak. Like, ladies and gentlemen, this is absolutely sad. We were worth 98 cents. And no one will ever talk about the good job Stephen Harper did. But we were literally at 98 cents when Harper was leader. Why did our dollar drop so much? You know why, right? Because we're not building our dollar. We're not building up things that create more money. We're not using our resources to make trade deals to bring in more money. No, what we're doing is investing our money in the housing market. which that's why you're paying $2.5, $3.5 million for a little square house in Vancouver or Toronto when you can be getting a nice mansion in Texas with an in-ground pool for $300,000. Do y'all see the difference, man? Y'all see the difference? We're in a communist hellhole right now. Out of all the G7 countries, yeah, I said this before and I'll say it again. Out of all the G7 countries, Canada is the only one in recession. Do you know why we're in a recession? Because of our leadership. And I am sick and tired of people allowing this government to walk all over you. If you want to fight, you need to stand up and fight. Oh, what's happening in England is America's saving England right now. And America's going to come to Canada right after and save us. And that's why I'm getting a 51st state tattooed across my heart. God bless and God bless America. You got that right. So like I said before, and I'll say it again. When you look at these situations with shootings in Canada, the police will never hold anybody responsible for what they do. No, what they'll do is they'll blame the guns. They don't blame the individuals for being crazy or being delusional and stuff. No, they blame the gun, right? Oh, the gun did it. No, it's the person holding the gun that did it. You don't want to see that, right? No. You think it's so good to have no guns anywhere and gun safe zones. And then look what happens when somebody has a firearm and they're unloading on random people. Now, who's going to stop him? You're going to stop with your hands? You're going to run up to him and grab him and stop him? That's not going to work. The only thing that's going to work is returning fire. Grab your gun, aim at him, and shoot. He knew what he was doing coming in and opening fire. This guy knew exactly what he was doing. If the roles were reversed with the Carmelo Anthony and Austin Mishkaf case, if the roles were reversed, Austin would get 100 years in jail because he's white. But because Carmelo Anthony's black and he stabbed him, he only gets 35 years. You see how it works when it's racial? This is what happens when you live in a society that caters to other people, man. And we've seen it all throughout history, right? It's like how, Palestine blocks the roads in Canada. But in America, they try that. They have the state troopers and the sheriff coming through, which is way better. This is why I say America is going to be the country that saves the entire world. Because people of the world want better. I mean, look what happened in Venezuela, right? You know what happened in Venezuela? That Venezuelan leader, he tried talking all that to Trump, Modelo, or whatever. Oh, come and get me. Do you think you can get? I'm not scared of you, bitch. And all this stuff. Yeah, what happened 5 hours later? Yeah, it's called the U.S. military came through with their spec ops, right? Knocked out all their power, so it was pitch dark. Couldn't see them coming, had their night gear on, and they got him. Didn't even take them 1 hour to get into Venezuela, grab him, and get out without losing any casualties or nothing. And you want to tell me that they don't have the best military in the world? I think America definitely has the best military in the world, the best trained at that. I mean, look at how impressive the Abraham Lincoln defense system is, right? I mean, this ship can shoot 101 missiles, deflect them in a minute. Now, you're going to tell me what other country in the world has technology like that, where they can shoot 100 missiles in a minute, right? Or deflect 100 missiles coming in a minute. No other country in the world has technology like that but America. And Canada, man, you're going to have to learn, man. You're going to have to learn. Canada has had so many mistakes over the past couple of years, man. Yeah, life's getting a lot harder here. It's getting a lot harder. Y'all want to see some random cat? Hold up. He's caught. Look at him. Look at the cat, bro. Look at the way he's looking at the camera. Look at this, bro. This random cat right here is literally just having sex out in public. He's staring right at me too with his eyes, bro. Like he's watching what I'm doing. Like his sex tape just got filmed and it's gonna go over, bro. Holy Christ. Welcome to Windsor.
That's hilarious.
That's amazing. Why would I go and protest in front of Arby's? I mean, I have the absolute right to protest in front of Arby's. I mean, last time I did that, the guy threatened to call the police and things like that. And the police did show up. And they look, you can't do nothing. He's not in front of your door, standing there. No, he's on the public sidewalk. which gives me the right to be there. And because he did that, he's like, oh, well, guess what? I'm not voting for you in the election. Then like, man, I don't need your vote. I got fucking 78% of the city voting for me. It was 77, but the extra percentage went up from the breakfast guys. So I know they're at a popular restaurant in our city. And the owner and me had a very great interview. And it was an amazing time. And it felt really good. It felt really good. Man, y'all be spamming. Now listen, the problems that we are facing right now within our country are sickening, and the only way things will ever get better is adopting freedom and liberty. We need to allow America to take control. Mark Carney needs to be locked up. All the shady things he's done, and the funniest thing about this whole, Mark Carney and Justin Trudeau thing, and the scandals that they've been through, y'all know they're mentioning the Epstein files, right? Justin Trudeau and Mark Carney. I mean, Ghislaine Maxwell and Mark Carney were partying together on videos. Jeffrey Epstein's wife and Mark Carney were partying together. Now, does the news media tell you any of that? No, they just put up Trump and Epstein. Trump and Epstein. They don't talk about our leaders with Epstein, do they? No. This is what they do. I got it. No, this is the problem with the system in our country, and the fact that the news media will do whatever they can to try to change the story and flip the narrative, because they know that what they've caused is the problems of Canada. The failures that our governments have been doing is the reason why Canada looks as it does. Now, I feel like criminals need to be locked up. I feel like there should be no slap on the wrist and it's over. I feel like if you do a heinous act and you knew what you did, you should face the consequences for it. But yeah, the exact same thing about what I said with my ex-girlfriend. You need to face consequences for what you did, because that's how you learn your lesson. That's how you learn never to make a mistake like that again. What do you think I said back in the medieval times? They would literally hang you in front of everybody else, right? They would gather everybody in that city and they would say, you're going to watch this. And what they would do is they would set an example for everybody else in that city. Don't do this, or else you're going to fuck around and find out. That was the main reason why they did that. That's what made it good, though. I mean, that's what made it good. And shout out to the 113 people watching right now. Yeah, last night's fireworks were wild. I mean, good fair share of people. Yeah. I've come pretty popular in the past couple of years, especially for a lot of things that I speak on. I blow up a lot. I've gotten famous on social media, yes. I mean, my TikTok, yeah, the reason why my TikTok got so big as it is because a lot of topics that I speak on, a lot of people followed me from that, right? I mean, look at that video I posted. I titled it, President Trump, Please Save Canada. That has about 10,000 views as we speak, about 900 likes, almost 500 comments. What does that say, ladies and gentlemen? I'm not the only one, okay? People want better, and the only way they're going to get better is fighting for better. You can't allow these problems to continue, ladies and gentlemen. You can't. If we allow these problems to continue, we're going to see worse and worse and worse results. Like I said, we're living in a bad state right now with control opposition, okay? And what I mean with controlled opposition is the government wants to control everything you do, and they control the parties that run against them. They control it with money, right? They have all that. How do you get these floor crossings, right? How do you think they're affording floor crossings? How do you think Mark Carney got in without having a majority government elected? Because he paid money for other politicians to join in floor crossings, which is illegal. That is illegal to do. But somehow he got away with it? No. This is why I say Canada is a communist country. Because what we are going through is very similar to what other countries are going to with dictators. We don't have a leader for the people. The hat I'm wearing, that's a leader for the people. Yeah, 51st state, just wait. You're on my live stream. You're on my live stream. Just wait, bro. You're on my stream. Your face is on there, fuck face.
Come on. Like, I'm so sick and tired of this. That lady was out there. I was trying to show that you're a good guy.
Oh, I'm not worried. I got all the time, bro. That's the reason why I do what I do. Yeah, hey, I hope he's happy because his face was shown on my stream, so I hope he's happy. Oh, he's definitely a Don Cherry hater. He's definitely a Don Cherry hater. He likes CBC. He likes licking the boot. He likes hearing what the government tells him. He likes eating a spoonful of propaganda. That's what he does. And that's the reason why Brady Tkachuk left Ottawa and went to Florida to play hockey there. Because the way the media trashed him, which is Matthew Tkachuk's little brother. But our media trashed Brady Tkachuk so bad, there's a reason why he left. Same as Connor Hellebuck, the goalie on Winnipeg, the Winnipeg Jets. He's an American goalie. But because they all went to the White House, it's the end of the world for our news media, right? Same as when they try to call the whole New York Knicks a bunch of Uncle Toms, right? I know, man. 90% of the players on the New York Knicks are black. And you're going to call them a bunch of Uncle Toms because they went to the White House and shook the president's hand. Give me a fucking break. The left is the problem, man. Once we lock these people up and bring our society back to what it was, life is going to be a lot better. And like I said, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to fighting the war, and I mean the spiritual war that's happening, good will always defeat evil, right? Who's my money on for soccer? My money's on Argentina. I'm going with Argentina. I hope they win. I feel like they deserve it. There's some people trying to call me a spy on TikTok. There's people trying to say that I was a spy or I'm some kind of American spy in Canada because I'm advocating for the 51st state. They claim that I was a spy. No, not that I'm a Canadian that's born in Canada and who loves and respects America. No, that's not the case. I'm a spy. Man, are you for real? So that's saying Don Cherry is a spy, right? Because he's from Canada and he loves America, he's a spy then? You see how you people sound? You people are ridiculous out there, man. When was the last time? Yeah, exactly the point I was making what happened with Charlie Kirk. When was the last time y'all saw someone else get assassinated that spoke out against certain things on the other side? Never, right? No. Charlie Kirk got it because he got too big. And the left got triggered over words. You see, when you put facts in these people's face, they don't like it, right? They don't like hearing facts. They don't like hearing truth. What they'll do is they'll spur up any hate they have and they'll try to throw it at you. Yeah. I'm not worried. What I'm worried about is fighting for the city and fighting for the future. And that's why I do what I do. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what's weird about our streets? Look at this sign right here. Autistic child area. I mean, I've seen these signs all over my city now. And it's like, I thought these people, like, this wasn't the 50s. You didn't hear these signs in the 50s, right?
The child runs off.
Yeah.
Children run off into the middle of the road.
No, that's the problem with their mentality.
Deaf person area too.
Yeah, blind person area. Yeah. All right. I'm just saying that wasn't the thing in the 50s like that. Yeah. I feel like it's kind of virtue signaling, but.
No, it's because somebody's just
yeah. Wasn't that in the asylums back then, or like?
No, that doesn't mean mental asylum.
No, they used to do that with mental asylums back then. If somebody was like a little bit different than somebody else, they just throw them in there.
Yeah,
that was the way back then. Man, the reason why places like Canada, America were rich is because of capitalism. That's the reason why we got rich. Capitalism is what saved us. And we lost our capitalism. I mean, we used to have gold mines in Canada, and we'd make so much money off it. The reason why we don't have gold mines anymore is because our government didn't want to invest in them, because somebody died, in quotations, in the gold mines. So because one individual lost their life, well, close them all up. Now, how much money has Canada made since then? Whole lot of nothing. There's a reason why Alberta wants to leave, and I'm 100% for it. Free Alberta. Alberta independence, let's go. Now, people have tried to call me a traitor for advocating for Alberta. The funniest thing about Alberta is Quebec wanted to leave 10 years ago. And did anybody ever call Quebec a traitor? I mean, you can look this up in the timeline they did this and all the things that were about Quebec. I didn't hear one individual on the news or anything call Quebec traitors, right? When they wanted their referendum. Because Alberta and Saskatchewan want it, apparently the news media can't handle it, can they? No. This is the problem when you have a weak media, when you have a corrupt system, and when you have politicians who lie straight to their teeth. And they do not care to hold themselves accountable or admit the mistakes they've made. No. They'll throw the shoe on the other foot. Like I said, they'll reflect it on somebody else. And this is why I say the only way things are going to get better is the 51st state, and that's why I'm getting it tattooed on me. I mean, I told the police right to them. I said, look, I advocate for the 51st state. I know Mark Carney said anybody that does that can get arrested. I told them right to their face. I advocate for it. What, you going to arrest me? I love America. I always have and always will. Just because my government tells me to do something doesn't mean I'm going to do it. I'm a free thinker. I'm not someone... Yeah, they're controlled from the government. I mean, that's what a lot of people are in today's society. They're so controlled, man. Yeah, I call them sheeple, which is the Tom MacDonald song, but yeah, they're sheeple. Bunch of mindless sheep that walk around and listen to what the news and the government tells them, and they go with it. They don't think freely for their own mind and say, hey, let me question this and see what really happened with that. Let's try to find their angle to see what the difference was from a different view. No, they'll never do that, right? They'll just believe whatever they're told, and they'll go with it, and then they'll go and scream in your face and shout a bunch of threats at you, right? Which I've seen so many times happen. And I've been in some of these situations, man. But like I said, for the anti-Semitism going on, my girlfriend is Jewish, and I've seen some of the things she's been through. The one thing I'll say is I'm very happy that my girlfriend is very respectful, very clean, and not trashy, right? And for people that slander her or say things about her, I love her a lot. And I'm not going to go and... No, I'm not going to... No. The problem is, ladies and gentlemen, when you have problems that keep going on, things aren't going to end, man. Things will just get worse and worse. But it's time we end racism. No matter what color's on what, we need to end racism, man. People need to come together and respect one another. No more hatred in this world. The more hatred there is, the more problems there are, right? And this is why I say the left, they always claim they're so tolerant and they're so nice. But when you look at how they act, they scream at you, they attack you, they call you the most slandering words they can think of. And I find that kind of funny because it shows the different side of the coin, right? Yeah, I have conservative values, but I'd more consider myself Republican. I'm more of a Republican in Canada. I know, as God bless President Trump, you inspired me to run for mayor. You showed me how to talk to these politicians and see what they do. And you're the reason why every country in the world wants you. I know that the government's going to say, oh, what are you talking about, man? If you look up any video of Donald Trump giving a motivational speech, look at the comments on there, because there's people commenting from all over the world saying they want a leader like that in their country. And you know why? Because they want a leader that's for the people. They want a leader that cares for their citizens. They don't want a leader that's going to sell them off to a globalist agenda, control them. No, they want a leader that's going to give them freedom, hope, and opportunity. And that's why I say when you look at England and the situation they're going through, they're going to have a new leader come in, right? The same thing with Canada. If you want Pierre Poilievre to run Canada, the same thing's going to have to happen what happened in England. Elon Musk and Donald Trump and J.D. Vance all went to England, and they got the prime minister out. The only way this is going to happen in Canada is if Trump, Vance, and Musk show up in Canada to get our leader out. That's the only way Mark Carney is going to get out of office. If you don't want Pierre Poilievre in office, that's the only way. I mean, that's what it is when you think about it. Yeah, there's a joke that somebody said on to me about my teeth, right? You always say this about my teeth. Oh, you're an orthodontist. Y'all know George Perez is a Mexican comedian who has a gap between his teeth, and he never gets dissed for it, right? Look up George Perez. He's got a gap the size of mine, and nobody ever criticized him for that. Y'all know Eminem's best friend Proof in D12 he had a gap between his teeth. Did anybody ever criticize his teeth or make fun of him for having a gap? No. It shows how intolerant Canadians are. They're very disrespectful. They'll mock you for the way you look, man. And they act like we're the friendliest people ever. No. Canadians are not friendly whatsoever. The way they treat people, man. Man, if I ever had a chance, I would love to go to Japan. Maybe even Greece. I mean, Greece is also very beautiful. Korea, yeah, depending. There's a lot of nice spots in the world. But the thing that I've said is a lot of countries have border rules, right? Border laws. Now, people get mad when I speak my mind freely, and I'm not worried. I mean, I am who I am, and I'm not worried what people think about me. Yeah, people have said ignorant things to me my whole life, right? Oh, my whole life, people have said ignorant things to me, but has it stopped me doing what I do? No. It just shows the immaturity of people, right? People can't grow up and be something better in life. No, they want to criticize somebody else because they're doing something they can't. And that's the funniest thing about haters. They hate you because you do better in life than what they're doing. I mean, my TikTok is blowing up so much. I can go on and on talking about the numbers, the likes, the views, the comments, the shares, whatever. People are glad that I'm speaking out against what's going on. And guess what? I've been silenced. I've had post ban. I've been banned on apps for speaking. But you know what? I still do what I do, right? It's that simple. Yeah, I would say definitely Canadians are. No, I wouldn't say that. I would say there's a mix. All right, it's the same as when you look at the play on the field, right? There's one and there's the other. So I'm not saying every single individual has hate in them, right? It's just one side of the coin that has the hate in them. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, go look out throughout history. I've never seen a conservative or a Republican assassinate a Democrat or a liberal. Now, I've seen plenty of liberals and Democrats assassinating us Republican conservatives because they're the side of hatred. And what they do is they say every name, they try to criticize us, they try to say we're bad and we're the problems. When you're all the ones that are going and making threats to people, you're the ones going and trying to take other people's lives. Y'all are the ones that don't want to answer questions. You don't want to have responsibility for your actions. That's the type of people y'all are. And it makes me sick, man. It makes me sick that people are so fucking weak minded that they just follow whatever the government tells them, whatever the news tells them, they just go with it, right? This is the problem when you have a weak society that's been controlled. And I am so sick and tired of dealing with people that think they're so better than everybody else. Man, they'll get up in your face and they'll swear, and make all these stupid fucking threats. And I look at people like that and I just laugh at them, right? I just laugh at people like that because you're so low at life, you got to go and threaten somebody else's, man. And I think that's where we're at as society, right? I think that's where we're at, man. We failed so bad as society. This is the reason why Canada looks how it looks, man. England is about 4 years ahead of Canada, and we can see already how bad England looks, right? 100%, I would say that. The 51st state is going to be the only thing that's going to save Canada. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm glad y'all enjoyed. Appreciate the love, care, and support y'all been giving me. I got the biggest fan base in my city of Windsor. I mean, my fan base is so massive. I mean, there's a reason why I'm going to beat Drew Dilkins in the election by a landslide. And do you know why? Because the residents of Windsor want a better city. They want hope. They want opportunity. And with Drew Dilkins, he's failed so miserably at his job, it's laughable. 12 years, this bald-headed bandit has been in office and has not accomplished one single thing to improve Windsor. Not one thing. And do you know why? Because he takes the money and puts it in his pocket. That's the type of mayor we have in our city. A failure. I'm going to make Windsor great again. And anybody who threatens to kill me, anybody who wants to try to diss me on social media and say negative things about me, good for you. You have no life. You're a lot lower than I am. Your vibration's obviously a lot lower because you're not thriving like I'm thriving in the world. So I look at people that have so much hatred and so much ignorance built up in them that they need to take a look in the mirror and see what they really are. I'm not afraid of anybody, right? I mean, I'm taking on the entire system of Canada. I'm taking on the entire government of Canada, what I'm doing. I've had people try to kill me. I've had a lot of people try to kill me. I've had people threaten me, whatever. Does that make me stop? No. Donald Trump has been through a lot of threats. He still does what he does. A lot of assassination attempts, still does what he does. The same thing with Malcolm X, right? Malcolm X was assassinated. For what? Because he spoke out and people got mad at that. Because there's weak people in the world. Very weak. But if somebody doubts you, don't listen to them. Know you're better than that individual. The fireworks show was amazing last night, but it really showed what Canada and America represent, right? It was Windsor and Detroit having a thing together. And one last thing about Malcolm X. Rest in peace to Malcolm X. But I'm going to quote something that he said right here. Malcolm X said himself that the white liberals are the most dangerous enemy to society. And now I've seen it, right? I've had to deal with so many white liberals in my life and the way they are, right? I've had people chase me, people assault me, people spit on me for speaking out against them, right? So much hatred thrown at me in the book for doing what I do, man. No, what I'm doing is I'm fighting for my future, and I'm fighting for society, and I'm fighting for the community of Windsor, and I'm not going to let my city die. I am not going to let my country die, and I am most certainly not going to let people go and get away with doing criminal, heinous acts. People are going to face accountability in my city or in the rest of the country. You're not going to get away with doing what you do. You can say whatever you want, but you know what? You don't got to make threats, man. Like I said before, and I'll say it again. You can criticize somebody. You can dislike somebody all you want. Once you make a death threat to somebody, you should face consequences for that. Because you are literally threatening to take somebody else's soul from them because you don't agree with what they say. That is the problem with our society. And this is the reason why I say open mental asylums again, lock all the loonies up, and we can have the golden era return. Ladies and gentlemen, God bless y'all. Patriotism will always win. Keep fighting because we got this. We are winning the war. Salute to all y'all out there. God bless all y'all. And just know, when I am mayor of Windsor, we will become great again.